Hello writers, come write with me. My name is Mykela Greenwood. I create worlds for mind adventures. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Write with Mykela. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you can go on this journey with me. Today is Friday. Instead of a chapter exchange today, we are going to get a new bare bones plot. If you're still writing on the first story, then I encourage you to continue to do so. It's always really good to finish a project, especially if you fall in love with the characters, then I very much encourage you to continue with that. Send your chapters to WritewithMykela@gmail.com with permission, and I will label those videos as Season 1. If you are ready to start with a new plot, then send an email and request shared plot 2. Let's look at our new plot. Number 1, you have someone or a group in power or a government who is extremely paranoid and prejudiced against a group of people. They fear losing their power to the people. This is your antagonist. Your protagonist is someone from the feared or forbidden group. They could be magicians, shaman, witches, herbalists, scientists, or if it's our time, it could be someone developing AI robots. The antagonists fear and hunt the protagonist. The antagonists may accuse the common or normal people of being part of the feared group. An example, say you're just a normal person and you're just going to buy eggs, and then all of a sudden here comes this government or this king that says, you're a part of this group, and you say no, but you can't prove your innocence. So number 1 is your setup. You enter the story under the bad king or government. Maybe you even meet the protagonist, but the common or normal people will not know the protagonist belongs to the feared group. So how is it kept a secret? Number 2, the person or group in power is looking for anyone in the forbidden group. He, she, or they tighten control over all the people, trying to rout out the forbidden group. This makes life quite miserable for the normal or common people. A question here would be, how exactly do they tighten control, and are they able to maintain that control? Number 2, is life getting a little worse? Okay, number 3, the group of feared people are looking for their leader from the prophecies or from rumors of the person's existence. So they are risking themselves by looking, and they don't or can't trust the common or normal people because anyone would turn them in to protect their lives. So do they find this person or these people? What does this person or these people have to offer the group? And if it's prophecy, maybe you don't know what they just know that somebody's going to come and help them, but they don't know exactly how that person is going to do that. So you could reveal that in the story. You don't have to reveal it up front. For number 3, you need to consider if the feared group doesn't find the person soon, then will the antagonist group tighten their control so much that the protagonist group no longer has the opportunity to find your protagonist. So the protagonist is looking for somebody, and the antagonist is controlling things and tightening control. So it gets hard to look. So if they can't find that person, how do they go about finding? It's not like you can go and post a sign and say, oh, we're looking for somebody in this, that, like if it's a witch. Oh, we're looking for a witch. You can't do that because then the king or government would know that you were looking. So how do they find this person, or how they go about finding after the control is tightened? Also, maybe the person they are looking for is already in their group. That would be an interesting twist, kind of like a hidden protagonist kind of thing. And that could be fun to write too. How you're looking for somebody, but then that somebody turns out to be you. That would be fun. The number 4, the paranoid and prejudice group closes in on the feared group. And the feared group has to try to escape to their sanctuary or their hideout. Do they make it? Is there fighting on the way? Do the people ruling know the location of the sanctuary or hideout? This is the adventure or action part. So them trying to escape. And that is with or without this person that they were looking for. So you have to decide that. Number 5. Do the normal or common people try to help? Do some of the people under the ruler or government realize that many times they killed or jailed innocent people? So are they okay with that? Or will they stop helping? Will they change sides? Do the people in the feared group come together, or is there betrayal among them? Lots of questions. This is how you keep your story going, as you ask questions. So I asked some in the plot for you. Okay, number 6. How does it end? Is the paranoid ruler or government removed? Or is it the last stand of the feared people? If you have a herbalist, can they even fight for their own lives? I mean, maybe they could make a poison or something and while they were sleeping. You have to decide if they can fight or if they use their powers to kill or whatever. So you have to decide that. You have to decide, does life go back to before the present ruler, or is it worse? Because the ruler kills all in the feared group, but then doesn't believe they have eliminated the group. So they turn to kill the innocent people. Okay, that's the plot. And I will tell you that I wrote this and filmed this, but my husband said the plot was too hard to understand, that there were too many choices. So I went back and I drilled it down some, and I will go over it again in terms that are briefer or more concise. Okay, so here is the drilled down version. Okay, so first recall that an antagonist is someone against your main character, and the protagonist is your main character. So before I go into it, let's review the terminology. Number 1, your antagonist is a tyrannical, paranoid, and highly prejudiced person or group. Your protagonist is from the feared or forbidden group. Normal or common people will fear for their lives because the antagonist will accuse anyone and everyone of being in the group they're against. The feared or forbidden group can be anything from a magic user to a highly developed scientist. Basically anyone that might upset the order, or they could be a freedom fighter or become a freedom fighter. So anybody that can topple that apple cart. That's an idiom for you. Number 2, the antagonist is looking to eliminate all the people in the protagonist group. So they tighten control over life or society. This makes normal life worse or harder. Number 3, the protagonist group is looking for the protagonist based on rumors or prophecies, because they need someone to bring back balance or to protect the normal people from the antagonist randomly choosing and punishing the normal or common people. They also need someone to help them protect their own lives. Number 4, as the protagonist group gets close to or actually finds the protagonist, that's your choice whether they find them or not, the antagonist group closes in on them and starts pursuing, arresting, killing, etc. Those in the protagonist group, so they start killing those in the protagonist group. So the protagonist group must escape to a hideout or sanctuary or another town or whatever. Number 5, do people from the 3 different groups, so you've got your protagonist, your antagonist, and your normal people, do they stay loyal to their group? With such tyranny and harsh laws for living, there will certainly be a temptation to switch. If no one switches, there is still a tyrannical government or ruler to overthrow. Someone or several people will have to give up their life in the big battle. There can't be all rainbows to overthrow tyranny. Number 6, how does the story end? Does the protagonist group gain peace and balance? Does the antagonist group destroy and kill all the protagonist group once and for all? Those are your choices. Okay, writers, that is our new shared plot. Both versions of the plot should work. And remember, it is a bare bones plot. You still have to provide the interrelated events. You have to build the tension to the climax. I have my version of the story mostly complete, and hopefully I will complete it before I need to read it. Right now I have around 91,000 words written on the story, and I've broken off several chapters, and I still need to go back through and make sure the chapters aren't too long for the channel. But I have time to finish. I am writing the climax right now, and a lot is happening. Then I'll have to finish up with a nice epilogue. I enjoyed our first shared plot, and I look forward to this one. The main difference between the 2 plots is that the first plot I wrote before I wrote a word on the story. I had not written anything. And the second one, I actually wrote quite a bit of it. I had like over 60,000 words. I had written 60 or 70, I don't remember. Anyway, I had written quite a bit of that story. And so I tried to pull the plot out of the story that I had mostly written. And I tried to pull out a general overview without telling you how to write the story, without demanding that you write about a witch, which you don't have to. I have a witch in my story, just to let you know. You could have anything, a scientist or scientist with chemicals or a herbalist or anything you want. So I didn't want to say you have a witch that is your protagonist. So that's why I tried to pull out the general thing, and I think that's where my husband wanted me just to say, you have to pick this. And he would have been happier. But that's not, I can't tell you how to write the story because then I would be writing it. The fun is that you decide the way to write, and you come up with the scenes, and you create the interrelated events, and you have fun with it. I do appreciate my husband's feedback, and hopefully you're benefiting from that as well by having the drilled down version, so maybe you can understand one better than the other. So leave a comment below on how far along you are with your first story, even if you're not sharing or not sharing yet. That's my hope, not yet, because I want to read it. Also, leave a comment on if you want to write on this one. Both versions of the plot will be below the video, and you just click on where it says more, and then maybe it'll say more again. You can just click and then it should be there, and you can screenshot it with your camera. Also, you can send for a PDF of the plot to the email address WritewithMykela@gmail.com, and I can email it to you as well. Join me Tuesday for some more jargon or writing prompt. I'm thinking of a writing prompt with personification. So we went over personification a couple Tuesdays ago. Leave a comment on if you have some jargon you think I should go over. Like maybe you want me to go over personification more. That's just an example. But any term that I've gone over. We can go over more if you want me to do a deeper dive, or maybe you think of something that I haven't done yet, then you can leave that in the comments. Join me Friday for Chapter 1 of Tajiia, A Strange Area. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe and the bell so we can continue to write together. Send your latest chapter as PDF or Word document to WritewithMykela@gmail.com. Or if you haven't sent any chapters, then send your chapter 1. You don't have to polish it or perfect it or have everything connected at this point. But please indicate if your chapter 1 is, or your chapter 2, whatever you send, is for plot 1 or plot 2. That way I know to label them season 1 or season 2. But this is just fun stuff. Don't worry about anything. Just have fun and write. Visit my website and read about the characters in Tajiia, Operatives, City of the Ancients. My website is www.bymykela.com. Leave a comment below on how many bios you've read so far. Let me know your favorite characters so far. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate your participation. If you know someone who would like this video, then please share it with them. This is Mykela with Write with Mykela. Bye for now.